Today is the World Press Freedom Day, the day that Article 19 was enshrined and the Universal Declaration was actually made. And India, being a signatory, is taking this whole arena of providing freedom of expression and stretching that to access to information in a very meaningful way. This morning we heard a lot about how India in its eternity wanting to be the forerunner in the field of access to information. And Arunaji was very categorical in explaining how even the information of the poorest of the poor is available for anybody to access. So that might be one example, but the nature of the internet is as such that there could be a lot of issues that we could encounter as we go. In the earlier session, somebody was pointing to the fact that even the printing press liberated information, and there were quite a few people to circumvent or even stop the whole idea of making knowledge and information available openly. In the same spirit, internet is also used by societies to control communication. And my presentation as an intro to this very high-powered panel is all about how the corporates in particular have been at the forefront, basically killing the ethos of internet, the ethos with which Tim Berners-Lee initiated 21 years ago. So I call it 7 sins of the internet. Let's go to the first sin. First sin, I think I'm not sure if people from Google and Facebook are here, but yeah, there is somebody here. Yahoo is here. The very idea of internet, which had to be open, which had to be on the principles of 1,000 flowers, let 1,000 flowers bloom, let million flowers bloom in this case, is being circumvented with this monopoly culture. And I think many people recognize, and I would give my colleague an opportunity to defend himself as we go. Many people believe that this whole idea of limiting the limited web, limiting people's access to certain gateways, certain systems, is how it goes against the principles of my colleague Tim Berners-Lee. And I had an opportunity to speak to him for an hour just a fortnight ago, and how much as the inventor of the internet he feels for this whole new opportunity to be made available. And today we see the market. If citizens or markets, we are no longer markets, we seem to be numbers. So Instagram is $1 billion investment is all about numbers, because these few organizations have the opportunity to say that this is the way it has to be. And there is a culture of personalized targets and advertising and services that are yet to come in the world, and I'm sure we would hear more about it. Let's go to the second sin. I think it's commonly understood that the mobile phones and mobility devices would take over the personal computers, and the new form of access would be through mobile phones. Now we see another major problem. Again, the greedy culture of the corporates. Greedy culture of the corporates is basically bringing up this issue of the uncommon web. The web is not common, it's not standardized. You have different operating systems, you have different file formats, storage formats. So if you are with iPhone, you are with iPhone, you are not with anything else. So the whole idea of a mini SIM, nano SIM, wanting to lock people to a particular service provider, to a particular set of services that one could offer, is limiting. So we do not have, thanks to Bill Gates, at least the PC culture was standardized. We had, to some extent, one operating system, and we were able to share files, share packets, and share resources. But today, with the mobility devices, we seem to find it much more difficult. Let's go to the third sin. I call it the Doomsday Web. The Doomsday Book Project, which was initiated in the 10th, 11th century rather, by the king of the nobles of England, was all about creating the Doomsday Book, which scanned, mapped, surveyed every borough, every township in England, and they said you don't have to go anywhere else. Doomsday Book is there. And in 1986, we repeated this Doomsday experience in terms of providing digital opportunity with unlimited memory, with unlimited access to resources. But today we realize that file formats, storage devices, software are really limiting us. We can end up with losing data in one go because the program no longer works. The storage devices are becoming increasingly vulnerable, that every 3 years you need to move your resources, digitized library for instance, from the storage device that you stored to a new device. Because the programs are changing, we in one go, one shot, within a second, we seem to be losing the so-called promise of unlimited memory giving unlimited digitized images. And now libraries are facing a lot of threat in terms of storing the data because of these three reasons: the storage devices, the file formats with which we store devices, and the software. Let's go to the fourth slide. This is interestingly something that is against the principle of the internet. We wanted open data, the open partnership, open government partnership in Brazil last month, to which India has been one of the proponents, has declared that everything would be open. But what is open is something questionable. What is open today is not something that we would like to pick up and use. We are not able to use any information that's so-called open to our advantage. What we ought to actually access is not digitized yet. So the problem of open government data is no longer a reality, and we could easily witness, visiting the government websites, to what extent you can go access and use that data for any advocacy or local planning or even provision of local services. On the other hand, we are looking at a kind of a surveillance culture. Gong Dong is going to be the first, what you call the surveillance capital of the world. 1 million, web-enabled cameras are installed in this city, and we are going to see a culture of surveillance everywhere, and which again goes against the principle of the privacy. So now you just don't know where the cameras are in the city of London as you walk by, and to what extent your privacy is impeded upon is something that questionable, and it's unstoppable. So the fourth sin, according to me, is the kind of the unopened data, but at the same time, what is open today is the surveillance. Let's go to the fifth sin. This is the unsocial web, I call, where the culture of learning and culture of getting the kind of knowledge that's needed for a person to really make it big is no longer practiced. I was just last week I was in Thailand, and wherever I go to the cyber cafes, I see children playing games. The whole culture of gaming, the whole culture of the next generation tied to the computers, just on unproductive means, spending time on unproductive means, and it's not $1 billion, it's $1 trillion industry that is at play in terms of creating just games, just games. And the culture of really a kind of unsocial web is really proliferating. Then, Manuel Castells, who wrote the trilogy of the information society, very rightly predicted that there would be a fourth world, the world that would create havoc to the public law, the world that would use the web as means to create anything that's undesirable. And we see the pornography industry is at its boom, child trafficking, internet hacking, terrorism, anything you name it. And I think these people are much more effective in using the web as compared to what we as commoners are able to use. So the fourth world, the mafia world, is at play, and we see that this culture is likely to, increase as we go, and any regulation, ethics, and rights would not stop them. The last sin, which is the wealthy web, and no matter we agree or not, the internet has created wealth. Internet has created wealth in the world, but wealth for the wealthy, wealthy people. So the poor have remained poor. You see all statistics in the last 21 years of the World Wide Web, post-World Wide Web culture. You see the condition of the poor remain as it is, if not becoming worse. But at the same time, the general wealth of the world has been on the rampant. So the companies, I'm sure there are many, friends from the IT sector here. The companies that have benefited out of the web, the open principles of sharing and learning and collaborating, has been taken to their advantage. The wealthy have become wealthier. Today you are talking about $40 billion, price tag for Facebook. So I want to, put this caution that as much we see internet as a basic human right, which is something that we all need to advocate for, we also need to ensure that the internet is not skewed to somebody's benefit, skewed to making the market as numbers, making people's privacy vulnerable, and even to the extent of making Aruna Roy wait for that right moment to be face to face with Bankar Roy to share the sensitive information, because nothing is today open, nothing is secured, nothing is at the advantage of individuals. So I wanted to raise these issues because we've been singing a lot of praises to the internet. We ought to, because it has revolutionized the world. It has democratized information. It's enabled people to question those who govern them. But it has done little or nothing to actually bring to accounts. I'm not anti-corporate, but I want to raise this as an issue for the people who are in this space, to also bring certain levels of accountability and apprehension people like me and Tim Berners-Lee and others have in terms of the new limited web culture that we are looking at.